could be done pretty easy. However, there are looms set up
Do you have your
that are
lens on
twice
there?
as wide,
It's a video.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
and it would be to make road.
Uh-huh.
And of course, your factory looms goes to a different level. And there were many factories in this area until they're not here anymore. So we did get this reed or beater metal part from a factory that was redoing their factory. And the original one, if you will look up by the stairway there, all the way up to the beam, there is the old reed.
Oh, I see.
What we mean by reed is reed that grows by the creek bank.
Oh,
And
okay.
Mr. Matthews made that one from reed.
And that's wood, the,
Yes, reed pole,
There was a cotton mill down in
like you
Freeze,
go
wasn't there?
fishing with.
Wasn't there a cotton mill down in Freeze?
It might have been,
yeah, we read about it, yeah.
okay,
A big building.
okay. I don't know how that would have worked. I don't know if they grew the cotton in the area or if they
That's what I was wondering when they said it.
You could go south at that time and get big 500-pound bales of cotton from down south, like people would come to this area to get tobacco. So R.J. Reynolds, if anybody's familiar with that. Okay, there's a story about R.J. taking a load of tobacco and going south to get a load of cotton. And it's a good story to read if you ever run across it. But it takes a long time to do that, horse and buggy, or horse and wagon. And then he got thinking a little bigger and went to Winston-Salem and made Winston cigarettes, right? Made Winston. Salem.
Trying to kill us all.
That's what my dad's from.
That's what my mother's from.
He was very good to his employees.
Yeah.
He thought that people that worked
Yeah.
should be treated well, and he did treat his employees well. Many of them had been slaves in their lifetime before.
So do you hand string that through the reeds? Is that-
Yes, we do. This is called bents, and you see we've got a thread in each dent.
Thank you, miss.
You're welcome.
Very much.
There is a working board over there, and see the cones of thread just in the top of that basket. So you pull your lengths, 12 yards, 15 yards, 30 yards, whatever, on that working board, and you count the number of rounds that you go for the number of threads. There's 244 threads here. This is a rug, so it doesn't take as many threads, and the threads are much bigger. If you feel this thread and go over and feel that thread, that's 550 threads in the same width as this rug, and it's much finer and nicer. So when you're doing that, the warping takes a long time, and also the treadling, because you are not doing 1 and 3, 2 and 4 like I'm doing. See, I got treadles 1 and 3 down, and I went back this way. So I beat this back, and then I got a little, that's too long, so I'm going to shorten it. And then I press 2 and 4 to go back. Very simple. That's just simple weaving, plain. But then if you're doing that design, you might do 1 and 4, 1 and 4, 1 and 4. And you would have that 1 and 4, that thread that went through, maybe making a block, a blue block, other than over, under, like this. So that's how you get your pattern.
Very nice.
And we have a book right here. Would you read the name, please?
A Hand Weaver's Pattern Book.
Weaver's pattern book from traditional patterns of the 1800s, and would have been handed down from mother to daughter, basically. And somebody did do a book, so we do the traditional patterns if we're doing a pattern. We do the string heddles. Today there are metal heddles. In the 1860s, they would have had these string heddles. We know how to tie these heddles. It's no problem to go in and tie one if one breaks. The metal ones are just easier to work with.
Very nice.
And I don't know if this group, have I told you that Ed and Lizzie's house set right here?
No.
Yes, this house was moved here from 30 miles away, or about Woodlawn, Virginia. Samuel and Elizabeth Matthews and their 6 children lived in Matthews cabin. That was donated to the Park Service. And Ed and Liz's house had been taken down, and our planners and designer said we'll put that old log cabin there in our historical industrial museum by the mill. It goes better than the new house, the white frame house that Ed and Lizzie built in 1914. And many other people in the community had the same house, so he thought this was the best place for the cabin, and I guess he's right. We'd like to have Ed and Lizzie's house for you folks to see.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening now. And if, in that book, some of those patterns will show you how to work your loom to make the pattern, and down the side is the treadling. So there will be one picture here, a different picture here, a different picture here, and your description of the treadling along the side.